Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at my 120-year-old mysterious camera. I originally found this camera online on Etsy and it was under the description of a number 4 cartridge Kodak. However, after some quick research, I realized that this camera was indeed not a cartridge Kodak. I reached out to the George Eastman Museum because I wanted to find out what type of camera this was. And they confirmed that it was not a cartridge Kodak, however it looked more like an Eastman Series C or D plate camera. After taking a look at what the number 3 Eastman plate camera Series C and Series D were supposed to look like, I began to suspect that this camera had been altered. Although I am slightly disappointed that I could not correctly identify this camera, I'm still excited that it is now part of my collection, and I look forward to experimenting with it and potentially using some film in it. This camera does have its quirks, but if you know me, you know I love a good quirky camera and I don't back away from a challenge. I love finding these interesting pieces of history and figuring them out and keeping them alive. I can't wait to test the bellows and see what kind of results I can get in the future, although it might not be soon because I still need to find and or make film holders for this camera. With this camera's age, there's going to be a few more things that feel a little too loose, like this viewfinder here, or a little dusty, like the bellows themselves. Now, if you ever want to get into collecting vintage cameras and actually trying to shoot them, one of the most important things you could ever test on a vintage or antique camera is the shutter. I'm trying to build my camera collection with cameras that I can eventually dust off and use if I find the right film or film adapters in it, but I can't really do that if the shutter does not work properly. A quick test you can do if you're at an antique store is going through each of the shutter speeds individually, carefully, and slowly. And if any of them feel stuck, then you can, depending on the shutter speed or what you plan on using in the future, you can either pass on the camera or try your luck with it. For myself, if the 100 shutter speed and the 50 shutter speed were stuck or did not work, I would probably pass on the camera because I would want to use those shutter speeds in the future. As I've mentioned before, this camera closely resembles the number 3 Eastman plate camera. However, as you can see on the sides, this camera is missing the turn knob that is seen on the diagram for the Eastman plate camera. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to share more cameras from my collection with you in the future.